Let's get started with construction guidelines. The Lagos State Physical Planning Permit Authority, LASPPPA, has called for cooperation from stakeholders in the building sector towards ensuring compliance with statutory stipulations for real estate development. Speaking during the stakeholders meeting, the General Manager of LASPPPA, Kehinde Oshinaike, urged industry practitioners to abide by the legal framework of Lagos State's regulatory apparatuses.
Lagos, the commercial nerve center of Nigeria, occupies a landmass of 3,577 square kilometers, which is about 0.4% of the nation's landmass. No doubt, the state is the smallest, yet new structures continue to spring up across Lagos, and not all developers comply with the building laws. Some of these structures fail at the initial construction level, leading to their collapse at the beginning or sometimes at the completion stage. Curbing the issue of building collapse is the reason why the Lagos State Physical Planning Permit Authority brings together stakeholders in the construction sector to brainstorm on how to get things right and also enlighten intending and property developers about the process of acquiring planning permits and building approvals.
Thank you, gentlemen and ladies.
The General Manager of LASPPPA reels out some of the government's policies as it relates to planning permit processes.
This concept is premised on the need to bring residents of Lagos State closer to the authority by enlightening everyone about what their roles as relevant stakeholders in the fiscal development matters. Let me inform this gathering that in September last year, the authority took the same sensitization section to Agege and its environs, and we have equally identified several other places that we visited this year to sensitize our residents on the need to comply with the laws and regulations guiding fiscal planning development for a greater Lagos of our dreams. We have come to speak to you alone. We are interested in addressing some of your concerns about fiscal development. Please see this section as a town hall meeting where we can let know some of the peculiar challenges in the area of fiscal development within these environments. The overall goal and intention of LASPPPA, and by extension the Lagos State government, is for us all to achieve more sustainable and livable communities that will be devoid of threats and avoidable building collapse. We cannot overemphasize the need to effectively and efficiently manage one of our greatest and most valuable assets in Lagos State, which is our dear land. You will agree with me that the huge population of Lagos State and the limited landmarks of the state call for serious and effective fiscal planning in such a manner that the incidences of haphazard development and building collapse will not continue to pose a threat to our collective existence.
A town planner explains different kinds of planning permits that must be obtained and their benefits.
Where you have a land and you don't have a capacity to build, you want to do the perimeter fencing, there is a permit attached to that, and that is called renovation permit. There is another permit. If you have a permit, if you have a land, a property that you need to renovate, you want to remove the door, replace the roof, refloor the surrounding without moving the structural element of the building, in that case, you are doing a renovation permit. There is another permit. It is called remodeling permit. If you have to move the structure of the building, meaning you have to move the structural element of the building, the beams and columns, you are doing a renovation, a remodeling permit. In that case, you will need a permit from planning authority, and so many things are attached. It has a procedures, it has a financial implication, and it has the process to follow. There is another permit. And this permit is called Renovation Permit. Supporting I misplaced my permit, and I don't know where I place it, I don't know where I put it. Don't bother yourself. There is a permit attached to it. It is called Renovation Permit. In that case, you need a copy of that permit, or you need an identification of that permit, meaning the DCB number of that permit, or your name. They will search it in the PPRS department and verify the authenticity of your permit. Once they are able to get this, they will grant you another permit. The deliverables we have in planning. Deliverables in planning, the first one that is germane to us is granting of building permit. Granting of building permit is so easy. When you come to the platform, the website of that platform, it is called EPP, and the website is www.epp.gov.ng. That is the platform. If you log into the platform, all you need to do is to register your email. When you register your email, a notification is given to you in your email. You have to prompt it. When you prompt it, you come back and log in. When you log in, you put the 3 prerequisite documents. When you put the 3 prerequisite documents, it will automatically tell you to make a pre-screening payment. Pre-screening payment is 10,000 naira. Once you are able to do that, it will take you down to the 3-pot, what we call the 3 bucket of screening. Here you have your architectural drawing that will be dealt with by the architect. We will have all your technical drawings that will deal with the engineers, and you have your title document that will be determined.
State agencies responsible for physical planning of projects also explained what must be done before embarking on any construction.
Material testing is really key, because from the conception of any project, you need to carry out some tests whereby it will determine what foundation you are going to, design. So it's really important that from the moment you have that conception, before even getting your planning permit or, approval, you must come to material testing. And the vision for material testing is to ensure zero tolerance on, building collapse in Lagos State. We do various tests from, soil, cement, water, fire, name it. So it's really important that when you are constructing, in order to avoid collapse, you need to carry out at every stage of that construction, you need to do tests. If you are going to 10-story building, what the law states is that from the foundation up to the roof, you must do tests at every stage of that construction. And in addition to that, should we miss your construction, maybe during our monitoring and enforcement, we couldn't get to you, we carry out what is called a non-destructive test as well, whereby after you have completed the edifice, we can move there to test the structural integrity of that particular building.
The land formation in every area are different. So you won't say because somebody has done raft, even at a distance of 50 meters, the land formations are different. Doesn't mean that your own foundation too is going to be raft. Take for instance area like Bagada, some areas like Owuru. You can't compare the land formation with Lekki. And you say because you have built 3-story building in Lekki, you want to do the same in Bagada. That's why you see some of the building, we call them BJ, bending, or they are about praying. And when it comes to that, the only thing building control needs to do is to come and remove it. But we don't just remove for removing sake. It's not our joy. As a government official, removing buildings, because coming to remove it is like wasting taxpayers' money.
We believe that governance is about service. It's about listening to our people. It's about having a listening ear to feel the pulse of the citizenry and acting accordingly. Globally, the construction sector records the highest number of incidents, recording in injuries, severe accidents, and fatalities. According to the International Labour Organization, at least 60,000 fatalities occur every year on construction sites, and this translates to one fatal accident every 10 minutes. In essence, what it means is one person dies every 10 minutes from construction sites. And some of these common accidents are slips and trips, there are falls from heights, there are suffocation in confined spaces, bodily injuries due to lack of PPE or not wearing your PPE appropriately.
Lagos is a state where everyone has different aspirations. The state government believes it's important for these goals to complement its plans and not negate them.
The government has provided the engine to harmonize these several and multifaceted visions into comprehensive and integrated perfections with the use of master plans, laws, regulations, and policies for all citizens to benefit. Certainly, voluntary compliance cannot be overemphasized, as non-compliance can and often lead to a myriad of negative life-changing occurrences, such as loss of lives and properties, occasioned by the proliferation of building collapses, flooding, and other environmental hazards. Without a doubt, enforcement drives, which is the logical follow-up to monitoring of the environment, is the price for non-compliance to regulations, which comes at avoidable cost to both property owners, developers, and the society. The cost to the owner or developer of properties is enormous and ranges from fines, seizure, and sometimes outright removal of the contravening structure. The society, on the other hand, pay needless price for foregoing other social priorities to fund enforcement activities, including demolition where necessary. At this juncture, it is germane to condemn in clear terms the unwarranted assault often visited on the monitoring and enforcement officers of the state. Needless to say that the long arm of the law will continue to catch up with perpetrators of such barbaric and unacceptable acts.
And the Secretary to the State Government, Folashade Jaji, says all agencies in the building sector must ensure they bring an end to construction works that pose a threat to lives.
Let me state categorically that sanity in the built environment, which guarantees protection of lives and properties of citizens, is a shared responsibility of all, and not only that of the government and its agencies. The Lagos State Physical Planning Permit Authority has been working with relevant ministries, departments and agencies, MDAs of government, as well as stakeholders in the build sector to achieve more sustainable and livable communities devoid of incidences which threaten human lives and avoidable building collapse. A core part of LASPPPA's mandate in this regard is public advocacy, education, and enlightenment geared towards ensuring compliance with the provision of the physical planning regulations and laws. I'm aware that LASPPPA initiated the concept of the stakeholders engagement meeting last year, in furtherance of efforts to enlighten stakeholders on the mandate of the agency and acquaint citizens and industry players with their roles in order to successfully enforce the physical planning laws and regulations. This is a no-holds-barred kind of stakeholders engagement meeting, which seeks to address physical planning regulations concerns of all players in the built industry and spur the development of workable solutions and ideas that will engender voluntary compliance to the state physical planning laws and prompt citizens' ownership of the regulations for effective enforcement.
The state government is optimistic that agreements reached at this meeting will point citizens in the right direction when embarking on any construction.